and welcome to my podcast. I'm Naomi and this is NJ Knits, where I talk about my knitting. So it's been quite a long time, and as per usual, I have not prepared for this podcast. I don't have my things around me, I don't have my notes. It's all just gonna happen in the edit, babes. It's all happening in the edit. Please feel welcome. Get yourself a nice cup of something. My mug doesn't really match my outfit. It's also too warm at the current moment. It's very beautiful, but it does not have a handle. So we leave that cup of tea there for a minute. I am currently wearing a finished object, which I don't think I've shown you because it has been a minute here, folks, since I've seen you. So if you're still around, thanks so much for sticking around. You're wonderful. I think that the people who watch my videos are the coolest people ever because they're always so kind and so sweet, and you are patient and you don't mind, way too many videos happening all at once or no videos happening. If you recognize this tree, you may have seen it a few years ago in previous Prague podcasts. Same flat that I was in about 2 years ago. And that is the case because I looked up how long it's been since I started the Welcome to the Jungle, and that is 2 years. So I looked at the video and it's like, it's me here in this place. So sadly, I can tell you right now, spoiler alert, there is no progress to show you. Well, actually, it's been such a long time, there might be some progress to show you on the Welcome to the Jungle. I could look at my notes actually to see, but I'll do that in a minute. So yes, I've got things to show you. A couple of new cast-ons, a couple of finished objects, and this is one of them, what I'm wearing. So this is basically my swatch for the Banco Dress by Le Pull. Now, Le Pull is one of those designers that has some really cool ideas, and I would say is kind of like outside of the mainstream knitting design world, which is a strange thing to say because the knitting design world is a very niche world in itself. But I would say that Le Pull is kind of slightly outside of the mainstream knitting design world. So in that sense, the designer doesn't really do size inclusive designs, but some of their ideas are really interesting and fun and sort of unique. I would say that this, and I would also say that the pattern writing isn't what you would normally expect from an indie pattern. It's very, very minimal. But I would say that I would recommend Le Pull for inspiration. Go and check out their Instagram, look at the designs that they create, and there's some really cool ideas there. And this is one of them. The pattern itself, I would say you could easily just find a vest top pattern that you that fits you well. Incorporate the stitch pattern, which is not groundbreaking, the stitch pattern, and create it for yourself. So that's kind of my caveat for talking about a design that is very not size inclusive. It introduced me to a new yarn, which I was really enjoyed from Hobby, which is cotton mixed with silk. So that's kind of cool. But anyways, let's take it back a bit and say that this is some yarn that I got to finish up my beads of joy jumper, and I got too much of it because I didn't really have any idea how much I would need because I'm not used to buying DK yarn. So because I'm so used to having way too much yarn, sorry, the opposite. I'm so used to playing intense yarn chicken. I was just I'm just gonna buy obviously too much because I needed to do the cuffs, the neck and the hem of my other jumper. This was the leftover yarn, and I thought I would make a small vest because I knew I wanted to try and make the actual dress. And that's a very convoluted way of saying I made this vest. Oh, what's that? It is. It's my name. It's a name tag. I don't know where it came from. So I made this vest. It's a little bit wonky, I think. I don't know if it's entirely perfect. I cut it and grafted it because I made it too long. I did cut and graft it like near the ribbing because I thought, oh, this isn't going to look probably very good. And so it doesn't. But it looks bad near the ribbing. So it kind of is like, well, things are changing. So yeah, I'm not entirely sure like exactly how I feel about this, but it was fun to make. It was very quick and very easy. So yeah, that's the vest version of the lapel dress. Basically, I just did the dress, and once I got it long enough, I just did ribbing. Can I drink my tea? I do have like Teflon fingers, but that was very warm. This is ginger and orange tea, which I hadn't ever had before. It's very nice. So that's this. I'm going to get a couple more finished objects to show you. One of them being my my beads of joy, which is complete and beautiful and gets compliments every time I wear it now. So hang tight one moment. Pile of finished objects. How about that? So I'll show you the beads of joy because that's what I finished first. Here it is. In all its glory. So this jumper, I couldn't decide if I was going to go with the black, the blackish, brownish, or the green. So I did one of each on the cuffs. And I was told that that was actually really cute. But I did prefer the black on it. I think the black makes the colours just come out more. I don't know. I didn't, in the end, do the green everywhere else. And I'm so bad at imagining things that even with the green on this cuff, I still couldn't really imagine it on the bottom because the bottom is bigger. I've got a really bad like sense of like visual. When I like imagine things, I don't really see images in my head. So I'm a very non-visual person. So I find this kind of thing quite difficult. But anyway, I went with the black because that's what I liked. And yeah. One thing I will say is the pattern has you do like just a round stockinette collar, 3 rows, and it does show the picked up stitches. But for a pattern with no shaping, you can wear it this way around or this way around. It actually fits really well. I'm actually quite happy with the fit for once. So let me just try it on for you. We'll try it on with this under it. It's not a hugely oversized jumper, but it's not like outrageously fitted either. It's a nice in between, which is what I was hoping for. Can you imagine? I got what I was hoping for. So yeah, this shirt I'm wearing is quite oversized, so it's kind of like looking quite smushed by the jumper. Like the jumper is looking kind of like, but that's because the shirt is more oversized than the jumper is. Yeah, especially here, it's looking weird. But this is the jumper. I should do like some separate footage each time of the item. Okay, that was fun. I should probably have like done it all at the end, so that I don't have to like keep moving things back and forth. Maybe I'll do that going forward. So this is my Beads of Joy by James N. Watts. I used Noro, which he designed it in, but I used a different Noro. I think he uses a thinner yarn than I used. I used Silk Garden, which is like a wool, mohair, and it's mostly mohair. There's like 45% mohair, and then there's wool and silk. Yeah, Silk Garden. There's not very much wool. It's like 10% wool, I think. And so I did Silk Garden in a couple of different colorways that I got from a charity shop. And then I did, for the cuffs, I did Silk Garden Solo. So it's the same makeup yarn of the yarn, but just without the color change. And I'm going to do a giveaway of this yarn. I'm going to do a giveaway of this yarn because, like I said, I bought too much of it. I bought some for this, which I only ended up using that, and then I made a vest out of. And then I bought the black, which I didn't end up using all of either. So yeah, you too might be able to make yourself a vest like this or something else if you win the giveaway, which I will speak about at the end of the podcast. So finished object number 1 is a Lepul Banco, not dress, but vest. And finished object number 2 is my James N. Watts Beads of Joy. What else did I do modifications? I did the ribbing with twisted rib instead of just plain rib. This is done in pieces and then seamed, which I really enjoyed. It's nice, especially with a DK jumper, to just be working on one thing at a time. In the pattern, you pick up for sleeves and you just do sleeves, knitted sleeves, and they're just T sleeves. But I saw one person on Ravelry who had made sleeves, long sleeves, in the same way that the rest of the jumper is made. And I sort of looked at her Ravelry page and copied it. Basically how it's done is the decreases are done with like one of these where the left side is, the one side is the same and the other side is just like decreased to make a tapered sleeve. And I just kind of like, I'd already made the body, so I kind of just used the body as a gauge swatch and kind of just was like, this is how big I want the arm to be, and just kind of decided how many of these pieces I would use. And it was fairly easy to do, really. After making the whole jumper, you kind of can just look at it and go, right, if I want a piece of fabric this wide, I'll do 4 of these things plus an extra one with extra bits on the side, and then taper them in. So yeah, I did a modification and it actually worked. So I have a long sleeve jumper. It's really warm. It's cozy. I get compliments on it every time I wear it. It's so beautiful. And it's all thanks to the beautiful yarn and James N. Watts's beautiful design. I love his designs, and I love his designs with Noro yarn. They are just genius. They're really, really always fun to make because it's usually... I've got a bit of a headache. Ooh. I've had a very busy week. And it's been oddly stressful. And I've also just started my period, so I'm a little bit in a weird, place. The reason I say weird is because normally I would feel like I just want to sit and be alone and just be with myself all day, and that would be fine. But I am feeling like podcasting, a little bit chatty, sort of sharing and connecting with other people, which is also fine. But I think the combination means that I'm doing what I want to do, which is sharing and talking and doing the podcast, but it's taking a lot more energy because of where I'm actually at, having had a stressful week and being just on the beginning of my period. It's taking probably double the amount of, or triple the amount of energy it normally takes out of me to do that. So I'm just noticing that and going, oh, okay, that's what's happening. Plus the headache. I used to be very good at ignoring my body, which had the benefit of I never noticed headaches. It had a lot of drawbacks, which I'm happy that I have. Mostly, I don't do that anymore. I don't ignore my body anymore, which is great. But the only thing I sort of miss about being like that is that I could just ignore headaches and not notice them. Another sip of tea. Just got this mug from the local ceramic studio. The woman who runs it is wonderful. If you're in Prague, it's called Terra Ceramics. And she's a French woman, so I don't think she teaches in Czech, but I think she has some Czech people who teach classes as well. So if you're in Prague and you want to do some ceramics, I highly recommend her. She's a phenomenal teacher. Her name is Marie. And this is her piece. You can also just buy her ceramics at the studio. And yeah. So, next finished object is the Banco Dress itself. So I knit this from Hobby Silk Cotton, Hobby Friends Silk Cotton, which is a silk cotton blend. I will show it to you in a bit. It is... Oh, I want to try it on over this actually. It's really soft, really, really lovely cotton, really, really nice to knit with. Here's the dress. And like I say, the pattern wasn't very detailed. There's no finishing on it. It's just left the way it is on the bottoms as well. And it's just done with a drop stitch pattern. So you knit two and then you have a yarn over. So it's I mean, and not to downplay the pattern. It's minimal in that it creates a look that's really nice that I like. So that's why I chose to make it. But it's also just to say I wouldn't be I wouldn't feel like you're missing out if you can't buy the pattern because it's not inclusive, because you can pretty easily replicate this. There's not a lot of details that you're paying for when you buy the pattern. So let me try it on over this shirt, because it might be kind of cool over a shirt. I've just blocked it. I have worn it pre-blocking. I wore it to the opera with my parents a few weeks ago, and then it was sitting waiting to be blocked for ages. This was one of those just like spur of the moment cast-ons where I was just like, I really want to make this. I do wish I'd made it in a bigger size. I think I wish I'd made it. I've 2 balls of yarn left over, and actually I think what I might do is, now that I've blocked it, I know that it hasn't actually, it's not as long as I wanted it to be. So I think what I might do is put those balls back into my stash, because I was going to give them away, and continue knitting on this to make it longer. Let's do a little show of it correctly worn. So yeah, I think I will, obviously this is not the bra to wear with it, but I think I will carry on knitting on this, because I don't like the length. I want it to be longer. I thought maybe with blocking it would get longer, so I didn't want to make it too long and then have it be way too long. But it's kind of knee length, and I definitely want it mid-calf length. Otherwise, it's really comfortable. It's really, I think it's really cute. It's got this kind of like comes in here, which I really like on me. I think that's a nice shape for my body. I think it just looks nice with my shoulders. So yeah, I really like it. I really love the yarn, and I'm glad I bought the yarn that she designed it in. Her dress is the same colour as well. It was one of those things where you're like, I want that look. Give me that look. I have a like nightie from H&M that's like the exact same colour as this. And I can wear that underneath if I want it to like look like a dress and not be like, here's my pants. But I think it's also cute with like high-waisted pants, and you're just like, deal with it. Yeah, you can see my legs. It's fine. So yeah, this is the Banco dress. I suppose not really quite finished yet. That is all I have to say about this. I didn't do any modifications. The one thing I did do, which I'm actually not entirely sure it was a good idea, I was glad I did it with the vest, because it was difficult to drop the stitches in that mohair yarn that's kind of like textured. But in this cotton, I didn't need to drop the stitches as I went, and that's what I did. And I think for some of it, it's made it look almost like just big loose knitting. Because, I don't know, as you drop the stitches as you go, it sort of evens itself out a little bit. So I'm not sure how to like fix that really. I think it's just done this stage, but you can kind of see it looks more correct down here. But I think the way it's meant to be is you knit the whole thing and then you drop the stitches all at the end. But I was mostly worried about like keeping track of which stitches I needed to drop, and like dropping the wrong one. But yeah, I otherwise really, really like this dress, and once it's long enough, it's going to be super cute, and I will probably try to style it into like autumn wardrobe, because I think it's just a cute look. Yeah. Okay, let's go on to the next one. I'll just put this on top of my dress. The next one is my ripple crop top. Do you know, this podcast is going to be one where things are just like turning out the way I'd hoped they would. mostly, for the most part. Like, I don't have a lot of epic fails this time. And if you're here for that, I apologize. I know I usually deliver on epic fails, but this turned out kind of exactly as I was hoping it to. It's the Ripple Crop Top by Jessie May. I knit it exactly. I followed it exactly. I love the way that the neckline detail is done. It's all done. There's no finishing at the end. The neckline's all done as you knit. I did this. The only thing I did differently was I did this in a Juniper Moon Farms Dappled Finley, which is 50% silk, 50% mohair, but it's a lace weight yarn. So I only used one ball of wool. So it's 100 grams. And I also lengthened the body to make it not quite as cropped because I wanted to wear it as a normal t-shirt. And I did. I wore it to work yesterday. It came out exactly as I was hoping it to. Like, it's a little bit loose, it's a little bit floppy, and I was worried with the ribbing that it wouldn't come out floppy at all. It would just be like tight. But no, it's so cute. Oh my god, it's actually really cute over this dress. And I love it. Oh. So let me show you. Yeah, so this is the Ripple Crop Top by Jessie May. And it comes basically to my hip bones. So if I wear reasonably high-waisted trousers, it like tucks in. And even with like normal trousers, it would probably just meet the waistline. So it's not like overly long. It's still slightly cropped, but it's not like, it's safe for work, I would say, because I wore it yesterday. The dappled Finley is exactly what it says on the tin. It's dappled. I think it turned out beautifully in this garment. I don't think there's a huge difference in like the way the yarn looks between like the fronts, which are knit, back and forth smaller than the body, which is obviously a huge distance between rows, and the here it's all really even. And the sleeves, just the dappling, it just is beautiful on this. And I had a little bit of extra yarn, so I'll show you what I did with it, because I finished up the whole bowl. I made a scrunchie, a magic scrunchie. So my hair is getting long again. I can put it up in a scrunchie if I want to. Kind of don't want to do the front bit in a scrunchie because I think it's kind of in a curly place right now, so you can't really see it in scrunch. But yeah, I've had scrunchies on the mind. I just taught another person to knit at work, which was fun, and I taught her to knit, and the first thing I had her make was a scrunchie. So we did scrunchies just garter stitch. We did basically just had her knit a rectangle. It was about this long. The first one was a bit shorter because it was like I just really wanted her to be able to finish something and see it finished. So the last day we had at work together, we just finished it. I kind of like turbo knit the last like a bit longer so it could be a bit longer. And then I showed her how to finish it, and she just used one of her hair ties, but I got a few for this one because I didn't have any with me. And so what we did was we made it a rectangle in garter stitch, about this long. Then we sewed the rectangle together so that it was a cylinder. And then once it became a cylinder, we took the hair tie, we put the cylinder inside of the hair tie, so that it was like this, and then we folded it. And actually, because hers had like horrendously bad edges because it was her very first project, we kind of did like, so say this is the fabric, my hand is the fabric, here's the hair tie, right? Just ignore these fingers, right? So here's the fabric. Instead of just folding it like this and sewing, we sort of did a grandpa mouth where we kind of double folded it and sewed it together, so that basically you weren't seeing the edges. If that doesn't make sense, that's fair enough, because it was a very confusing statement. But let me show you on this. So say here was our cylinder. It's quite a good scrunchy length, actually. We put the cylinder inside the hair tie like that. And then normally I would say if you had like reasonable edges, you just sew it together like that. But because hers were like really bad, we just folded the edge in like that on both sides. So we folded that edge in, and then we just kind of sewed it together really shoddily. I think one of the important things about like teaching someone to knit and having them make a project is, I always tell them, like, in the beginning, what you want to do is finish something. It doesn't matter how shitty it is. Excuse my French. It doesn't matter how like bad it is. You just want to finish something, because the finishing serotonin is what's going to make you want to make the next one. And so the overarching goal is finish it. And then once you've made something and finished it, and then you do another one and finish it, you'll start to realize that all of a sudden you've developed a muscle memory and you enjoy knitting. But I always tell people when I'm teaching them to knit, like, you won't enjoy it at first. It's not going to be enjoyable. It's going to feel stressful and it's going to feel difficult. And that's fine. Because it's a new physical maneuver. It's a new physical thing for your body to be doing. And when you learn new physical things, you feel unskilled, and that makes you feel bad, makes you feel like, makes you feel a little bit bad about yourself, and it makes you feel slightly stressed. And that's totally fine, because of course you would feel that way. Why wouldn't you feel bad for being not good at something? Of course, if you were very my point is, it's all very reasonable and fine to feel like you're doing it a bad job. And I think telling people that when they're learning, when you're teaching someone, is really helpful, because it just takes the stress off. You go, yeah, you're supposed to be stressed right now. It's fine. Don't worry about it. It's supposed to feel stressful and difficult and like tight and horrible. But once you finish it, you'll be so proud that you've made something. And then moving forward, you keep finishing a couple more things, and then you'll all of a sudden find that it's actually not stressful to be knitting. It actually feels nice, and it feels relaxing, and it feels like something you can do, like something that you're actually quite good at. But that takes time, and it's not going to be immediate. You have to spend time feeling really unskilled. But I think that's nice for people to hear. It's nice to hear that, like, part of the plan is you're going to be doing it badly and it's going to feel stressful and difficult. That's part of the plan. We just move through that part, and then we get to the part where it's a relaxing way to spend an evening. And that's why I think it's so important to do tiny projects when you first learn to knit. So for all those knitters out there, I know most people watching this are not going to be like people who've never knit before, but a lot of you might want to teach friends how to knit, or teach co-workers or whatever. And those are my tips. My biggest tip is to make something tiny, because making a scarf is I always say this, like, the scarf is the death of all new knitters, because it's so boring, and boring knitting is only possible if the act of knitting is relaxing. And when you're learning, the act of knitting is not relaxing. Therefore, boring knitting is right out. You got to do easy, quick, serotonin releasing, quick knitting. So like chunky hats or chunky headbands or scrunchies, all of those are ticks. But scarves are a big no-no. So yeah. That inspired me to do my own little scrunchie with the leftover yarn. I Obviously only had barely enough to finish it because I played yarn chicken with even my scrunchie. I just can't help myself, can I? But here is my pile of finished objects. Oh, I don't have this in it. Let me get back to wearing normal clothing. One moment, please, callers. Finished objects. So now let us move along to whips. I might need another cup of tea for this. Okay, we've got more tea and I'm at a jaunty angle. And I think that's more straight. We're not very straight over here, I have to admit. And I'm ready to show you my whips. So the first whip you've already seen. It is my Snap the African Flower Crochet Turtle. And the body is done for this guy. I need to crochet the legs and then the head. He hasn't had a lot of love, but I did just block him. I didn't block this actually. I probably should have done. Maybe I will do. This is his little skirt that's going to go on at the end. And this was done with all the leftovers, so it kind of changes colours throughout. It's not great colour accuracy. And apparently I didn't even finish the double crochet at the end, which is odd, but never mind. So I think it sits around the turtle like that sort of thing. But yeah, this is where he's at. I did decide in the end to just cut my losses. The hobby yarn that I ordered was not enough, not even close to enough. I wouldn't be able to finish the head and the legs with just 2 balls of yarn. So I went to the yarn shop here in Prague and I got looks like a German brand of cotton. It's Okotex standard, 100% cotton. It's called Scholler and Stahl, ganz schon kreativ. And it's limon, and the colour is 113. This was half price at my local shop in Prague. So I got it. It's, again, the colour, it's kind of, weirdly, it's really overcast, but it's like, the light is it's definitely blowing out the colours here at the moment. It's very washed out, I have to say, the colour currently. But I have 5 balls of this, so it really should be enough to make these legs. And I've given away the 2 balls of hobby yarn to another colleague who is learning to crochet. So yeah, that's where the African flower turtle is at. I really enjoy the pattern and I really, really enjoy the designer. The designer is called Heidi Bears, and they do really great crochet toys in this. They tend to be in this African flower crochet motif, which is this motif, and it's just gorgeous and I love it. So yeah, I'm excited to do the legs. They don't have colour in them. They're just one colour, solid colour, so that they'll be quicker. So I'm excited to do that. I just haven't been feeling like doing it recently. I think I've been kind of following the serotonin on the other projects. But anyway, now with 5 balls of yarn in here, this bag is a little bit not the right size because it won't really fit the project in it as well. But this is a bag I made myself last year. out of some samples for like samples that I got in my local like I think this is like upholstery samples, and I got them in my local reuse scrap shop, which I recommend. Yeah, upholstery samples are great sizes, little squares of fabric. Yeah, I really like this project bag. So that's the flower crochet turtle. Next, I'm going to show you, so you can kind of see how I got distracted and didn't do the projects that I brought with me to Prague to finish, because this flower turtle, I mean, to be fair, I was planning to finish the Beads of Joy and I did that, and I was planning to do the ripple crop top and I did finish that. So I did 2 of them, but then I got distracted by the Banco Dress and made a dress and a vest. And here's the other project I brought to Prague and was planning to already be done with, but I have run into a snafu, being I've run out of yarn. Oh, I'm in the middle of casting this off, which is quite silly. I should finish that. Okay, fine. Anyway, this is my traveller's cardigan. It is still a whip. I ran out of the wool that I was using, but I kind of expected to do that. And so I changed to another colour. I had Holly bring it out when she came to visit. I only had 35 grams of this colour, and I used up pretty much all of it. This colour, sadly, I only have 22 grams. Otherwise, I was going to use this to make the other sleeve. It almost looks like it would work now, but I know from the grammage that it won't. So now I'm waiting for a very kind person on Instagram who's sending me some leftover yarn that she has of this yarn, because it's discontinued, so you can't buy it anywhere. It's Knitting for Olive Double Soft Merino, and it was gifted to me in the first place by a lovely viewer named Kate from Australia, which is so kind to send something that far away. But yeah, here is how the sleeve is looking. This, for some reason, is looking really uneven and bad. I might need to do some duplicate stitch around here just to kind of even it up. Or make it more uneven. I don't know. It's just looking strange, but I haven't blocked it, so maybe it'll block out. I've just kind of gone straight along. I haven't changed the sleeve. The sleeve's just straight, and that's how the pattern is written. I think she does do increases before the cuff, but I just wanted to do like an oversized, really long cuff. And I'm halfway through casting it off. So I'm pleased with how it is, how it's turned out, but I just don't have enough yarn to finish it, sadly. Yeah. So that is my traveller's cardigan. It's actually going to be a very well-travelled cardigan, because this yarn came from Australia, and this yarn I made a jumper in Italy out of this yarn, and this yarn I knit a jumper in Finland with. So we've got Australia, Italy and Finland, and then the yarn that's going to come to me is from a lovely person, so that will travel as well. Basically all this yarn has travelled. All yarn in contact with the traveller's cardigan will have travelled. So yeah, this was my like easy walking around, commuting jumper for a while, but it's gone on hold because I've run out of yarn. Really feels like this should be enough yarn to do the other like half of a sleeve. But I know it isn't. This is what's left. Let me weigh it really quick. So that is my traveller's cardigan in Knitting for Olive, double soft merino. I'm very excited to finish it and have it in my wardrobe. The next whip, I think you've probably seen the amount of progress I've made on it. I have done a few rows. I was going strong before something else took over. And sometimes I'm sad when like new and shinies take over, because I really do enjoy working on this. When I'm working on it, I'm really happy. It's not like, oh, working on this again. I really enjoy it. So yeah, but what I need to not do is attach like feelings of guilt to not working on it. Just attach feelings of pleasure to working on it. So when I'm not working on it, what I need to not say to myself is like, oh, I need to start working on it. Oh, I hate that I'm not working on it, because then I will associate this with guilt and not with pleasure, which is what I feel when I'm working on it. I do enjoy doing it. So yeah, the Welcome to the Jungle's still going. I got distracted and started working on something else, obviously. This zebra bit is long. Each bit gets kind of longer and longer. So this zebra bit is like, it looks kind of like it's nearly done, but it's not even close to nearly done. It might be a third of the way done, but yeah. It's looking great. It's phenomenal. It's fantastic. We love the Welcome to the Jungle. And, you know, who knows? Maybe the podcast will finish when I finish the Welcome to the Jungle. So yeah, it's still trundling along. And actually, we're near another finish at February. So if I do another finish at February, like, we'll get a lot of it done. I was planning to have the body finished whilst in Prague. It was a doable goal, but I got distracted and did something else instead. I have my notebook where I'm keeping track of the Welcome to the Jungle. It is, where is it? Strangely, the Welcome to the Jungle tracking is not in my knitting notebook. It's in another one, but that's okay. Actually, no, I lie. I am more than halfway done with the body now. So this is like how many rows I have. And so that is more than halfway done with the zebra bit. So the last time I worked on this was the 1st of October, and it is the 28th. So it's basically been a month of hold. Yeah, but we'll get back on it. Don't worry. Don't you worry. We will return. I was almost done with the first ball of Alweta in each of the colours on the zebra, but then I stopped doing it. So the final the final whip is my new cast on, which is what I'm excited about. If you've been watching, you saw that I got a set of mini skeins for my birthday in May, end of May, from, I think, my favourite indie dyer, River Knits. They just do really beautiful yarn, and they use a lot of BFL, which I really, really like. And yeah, they had this mini skein set that was called Sherbet Rainbow, and it was just like these pale like rainbow colors, sort of almost like pastel rainbow. Um, and I got it for my birthday because Holly's lovely. And I had in my head this image of combining it with black to make this like really nice jumper that would be kind of stripy and kind of fade from one color to the next. And so I just kind of put that image in tucked it away and hung up my beautiful mini skein set and just thought that'll happen at some point. And then Rebecca of the Crea Bear came out with a design called the Daft Days cardigan. And it was kind of exactly what I was imagining, except she did it in like a cream colour. So I signed up to test knit it and very luckily was given a spot to test knit. And I think I'm the only person doing black in the test knit group. So yeah, that's what I've been kind of distracted by and doing all the time, apart from I haven't been taking it to work until recently. So I had been taking my ripple crop top to work. I don't know why I stopped taking the Welcome to the Jungle to work when I started working on the Daft Days cardigan. It might be because it was like 2 colour things and I just wanted like, I don't know, strange. But let me show it to you. I am nearly finished with the front, the second front. And then I will have a cardigan vest. But I've finished the first front and connected it to the back. I've done the back and one front. And I'm glad I've done it in this way because the back was a kind of a tiny bit of a slog. But now it's done. And I have only fun and fear ahead of me. Because of course I'm worried about running out of yarn. This is my Daft Days cardigan. And I have to say, it looks potentially even cooler inside out. Isn't it beautiful? So I've just decided that my goal is going to be to really finish it well and so nicely that I can wear it inside out. And that means I'm going to have to think about the closures in a certain way. I do have one vest that has buttons on both sides. That makes it quite weighty. Another option is to I've done another one that's reversible where the buttons actually are like kind of off the kind of like coming to the side and they're like they're just attached to like a rope so you can kind of put it to that side or that side. But I don't really love that solution. I could go for like something that is magnetic so that you could just close it either way, I guess. Snaps maybe could also work in that way, where it could be inside out. Your thoughts and ideas are welcome as well. I mean, listen, I could even do like a zip that is reversible, like a reversible zip, instead of doing buttons. I think what I need to do is finish it. I probably need to think about weaving this in differently because that's quite obvious, that end there. But yeah, what I need to do, I guess, is finish it and then think about it. and decide. But yes, I've done the back and I'm this far up the front of the second front, and then I will be done with this, and what I'm going to do is block it before I add the sleeves. And I guess I'll wait before I do I might do the collar, but I might wait to do the front and sort of think about it a bit more. But yeah, I'm really, really excited about this. And this is the first time I've done a pattern for a cardigan where you increase here. So I'm really interested to see how that affects the fit. That would be really cool to see. I'm really looking forward to that. And I love that the back has shaping. So I think that this cardigan hopefully is going to fit really well. The cardigans I've made in the past have always been a little bit shoddy on the fitting. And what I mean by that is like, it's just been difficult to like keep them on my shoulders. They slip off or they kind of fit oddly. So I'm really hoping that this one is, a better fit. I'm going to block this and then I'm going to trim all the ends. So hopefully they're just like nicely woven and they look good. And yeah, I'm really, really enjoying it. It's really, really addictive. Because of the stripes and the stitch pattern. The only thing I've changed is I'm knitting it inside out in order to basically be able to have one row where I'm knitting the whole way across. So I'm doing the pattern exactly the same. I'm just starting on an opposite row than when I'm meant to start. So I start on a wrong side instead of a right side, or a right side instead of a wrong side. I can't remember which one. But otherwise I've knit it exactly to pattern. And it's been a great process so far. I've really, really enjoyed it. I do have a kind of frilly bottom hem because I cast on with an Italian cast on, and I don't think I've ever done that for a bottom of a jumper. I'm hoping it's going to block nice and straight. But yeah, so I will see what I end up doing with this in terms of closure. I think magnets could be really cool. I think I might really like that. And I guess I can show you how it fits right now quite well. That's what's nice about cardigans. You can kind of put them on. Beep, beep, beep. It's very warm. So I'm using this. This is BFL and it's held double and it's done by River Knits. It's dyed by River Knits. And I am using Phil Kalana Peruvian Highland Wool as the black, which I got here in Prague. Hello, and welcome back to London. I'm here with some tea, and I was just about to, very wonky tea. I made this teacup, as you can probably tell, due to its intense level of wonkiness.
My hair is doing its own thing as per usual. Really needs a trim. It's quite a lot. But yes, it's been some time, but I did want to jump on to show you the yarn that I'm giving away and to invite anyone to enter in the giveaway. So it is going to be my leftovers from... Oh, I don't think this cup even sits. Got some candles even. Look at me being a great podcaster. I'm not really dressed, but never mind. I am wearing a hand knit item. So it's going to be my leftover Noro. So I have 3 balls of Noro Silk Garden in the colour 6, which is like a greyish, brownish, blackish melange. Noro Silk Garden Solo, it's 100 meters per ball, and it's 45% silk, 45% mohair, and 10% wool. So I have these 3 balls of black, and then there is also about 2 balls-ish of green. They're in a few different balls because some of them are from cuffs that I tried and then undid. So basically you can think of it as 1 ball of green, I suppose, with some leftovers. So I think this would make a really great hat because of the mohair content. It would be really warm. It's about DK. It is single ply, but it's very, I'd say, quite strongly twisted. I got there's also a small leftovers bit of this black as well. So yeah, in total, I'd say you have at least 400 meters, but more than that. And I think it would make a really cool hat if you know someone who would like a hat that's, you could easily get a hat out of just these 3 black ones. Add some lime green pops somewhere in your knitting. So I'm just going to go ahead and give this all away as a little bundle of Silk Garden, just to share the love, really. So leave a comment below, and anyone who leaves a comment is entered in the giveaway. So share the video if you know someone who might want this, and tell them to leave a comment below. You can, to enter in the giveaway, leave a comment saying what you might make out of this, if you want it. That's all. Thanks for watching, you guys are the best, and I wanted to share some love and share some extra yarn with you. So thank you. Okay, I will see you later.